Today I'll be explaining Backrooms level Speak No Evil, also known as BHZSMZUY. This one is very, very unique. It's full of weird rules and languages, and it's a terrifying setting. And it also has some of the strangest effects and manifestations that I've ever seen. And whatever you do, do not say the level's name out loud, because you're gonna regret it. If that sounds cool, stick around for the explanation, and without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it, shall we? Level Speak No Evil was discovered on September 25th, 1998, and is filled to the brim with very strange oddities. Because of this, it's been given a class variable difficulty, since there's no security, and there's an entity count that can change depending on where this level is at. And mind you, I did just say where this level is at, not where this level is. More on that in a second. From a physical standpoint, it looks to be a procedurally generated indoor storage unit complex of a medium to decently large size. The hallways here are brightly lit, and it's sterile and clean, and it's adorned with various storage unit doors. Each of these doors has a correlating number that goes right along with it, but the digits are not lined up, and they're in random, nonsensical orders. Like, it's not just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It could be 1, 5,000, 2, 18. You might also be thinking to yourself how weird the level name is, BHZSMZUY, and that's because that's just a code name for the actual level. If you take that code and you put it into a base 64 decryptor, it translates to LVL352, which is the official categorized number of the place, and that's also the name that you can never say. You're not supposed to say LVL352, except I've said it twice now, so I'm probably screwed. But I'll tell you why you can't say it in a second. The hallways of these storage units are winding, but they actually usually end up in T-junctions with each other, kind of giving different offshoots and different options where you can explore. But none of that matters because you all have seen indoor storage units before. That's nothing crazy. What actually is interesting is what lies beyond those storage units and how this level appears in the places that it does, and what appears inside of the units themselves. Opening any storage unit that you want to, you might be able to find different sorts of containers and boxes and other things like that. These devices are usually filled to the brim with items from that specific wanderer's past. So if you yourself had a stuffed animal, you might open a box here and find it. The majority of the people that do summon this level, notice I said summon this level, they end up finding things like old blankets, faded photos, and other things from their childhood like that. Each of these different boxes can kind of take you down a trip of memory lane, right? You can uncover those different past parts of yourself you might have forgotten about, and it's pretty nice. Listen, if there's one thing I know, it's that the Backrooms smells horrible. Literally, trust me, it does. But thanks to today's sponsor, Scentbird, you do not have to smell horrible while exploring these said Backrooms. I personally been using Rag & Bone by Cypress, and it makes me smell fantastic. Scentbird offers a monthly subscription that allows you to explore over 900 authentic designer and niche fragrances. Using Scentbird, you get an 8 milliliter vial with about 120 sprays each every single time. And most importantly, it's enough to see if you actually like the scent. All you gotta do is put a few spritz in your hot spots, and you're good to go all day. The things I talk about on this channel are oftentimes relating to death, decay, and stench, but you don't have to smell like that with Scentbird. So if you're curious, if you want to try to find your signature fragrance, whether it's a smoky, a sweet, succulent even, go to the link below in the description, because right now, using code BRUGLY2, you can get 55% off your first month's order of Scentbird. That means one of these only cost $8 for the first month, and then the next month is only $16.95. You can also scan the QR code on the screen to get the same thing. Again, that's 55% off just by using the code BRUGLY2 or scanning the QR code. So again, thank you to Scentbird for sponsoring this video. Without further ado, let's get back to it, shall we? The danger that this level presents and why it is called Speak No Evil is a very unique one, and it is simply because how intrusive the level is. When a person speaks or writes down the level's designated name, LVL352, anywhere at all inside the Backrooms, no matter where you're at, this level will materialize within a 91-meter radius from that subject. So you could be on level 0, and you could say LVL352 or write it down or anything, and it would appear right in front of you. And and every time you say it, a version of the level appears, and it clusters together, and it ends up just being this gigantic conglomerate wherever you are. It'll essentially merge into whatever space you're at, and it won't leave until the document or the text is destroyed that you wrote it down on, or deleted if you typed it on a computer. Which is why you say BHZSMZUY and not LVL352, because the level can understand any language that utilizes the Latin alphabet, or variations of it. Even things like French and Spanish and Polish and Vietnamese and English, it knows and it can track you and appear wherever you say it. However, BHZSMZUY, as a level, it cannot manifest itself if the person that says its name uses a 64-bit code or Greek or Arabic or different languages like that. So in a way, this level is kind of like Beetlejuice. If you say its name, it'll incur itself wherever you're at. That's why you can never say LVL352. This effect could be dangerous for tons of reasons. Like I've stated, it can just make this giant cluster that you're trapped in. You could also trap yourself in a bad level or a place with dangerous creatures, and you could bring those creatures into the level and trap yourself in a storage unit. You could also risk essentially breaking the reality of the Backrooms itself by having the level incur itself into a hallway and destroying the hallway, and then the fabric of space and time will collapse in on itself and you're gonna die. The most common places this level is merged with currently is in level 0, level 1, level 4, level 11, and level 61. These are just the common places for some reason where people say the name of the level. And since the level takes on and comes to wherever the wanderer is, it also brings the entities and the effects of whatever level it transports itself to. So let's say hypothetically that you say or write down LVL352 while you're inside of level Run for Your Life, and then the level appears right in front of you. You're screwed, because now you're trapped in these tiny storage hallways with a horde of entities chasing you to your death. And that same concept goes for literally any other level inside of the lore. The level's appearance also does not care what is in the way of itself. It will literally merge and break anything that is in its way inside that 90-meter radius. So if for some reason your friend is right in front of you and you speak its name, the level could merge with your friend and essentially destroy them from a molecular level by crushing them to death. And this is precisely what happened when the level was discovered way back in 1998. Quote, immediately after BHZSMZUY was mentioned, the level began to manifest around them in a near instant, presenting both wanderers with a paralyzing scare. A storage unit was recorded to be created in front of one of the wanderers, causing the wanderer to disturb the structure of the specific unit door, making the door from then onward possess large holes around where the wanderer's neck, left arm, and right leg were. End quote. So like I said, the level will appear and it doesn't care who's in its way or what's in its way. It'll wrap around them and merge with them, and you could literally be incinerated and crushed. And if two people aren't careful, if they're having a conversation about LVL352 and they say the name back and forth in a bunch, without even realizing it, the level will appear as many times as they've said it. So because of all the things you just heard, it makes sense that the level's nickname is Speak No Evil, because you shouldn't speak the level's name or write it down or anything, except me. I get a pass. There's a chart at the bottom of the level page depicting what happens when you say the name in different ways. For example, if you say it in English, it'll instantly materialize within 90 meters. But if you say it in Vietnamese, it appears after a small delay and then only manifests 86 meters away. However, there are a few ways to safely say it. One of them is BHZSMZUY. Another one is Morse code or sign language. If you say it in that, nothing happens. It is unknown how this level does what it does. We don't know how it teleports, we don't know how it appears, we don't know where it actually is located. But as far as we do know, it is the only level like itself in the Backrooms history. Because of this, until further research is done, you should never say the name. And the secrecy of this level should remain intact, except now it isn't, because I've said it to about 100,000 of you. And that's what I do. As far as entities go, the level, as I said, it takes on whatever entities that the level it appears in has. So if there's a native entity to any single level, they'll be here when it appears. To exit from level BHZSMZUY, you can do so by entering level 96. Now doing this, you have to find a small ventilation shaft in the level's manifestation, measuring a width of 38 centimeters and a height of 29 centimeters, which is very small, and you have to crawl through that vent, squeeze out to this metal grate, and then you'll be in level 96. That is the only way to get out of the level once you're inside of it, and wherever it appears, you also have to deal with the effects of that place too. This level is truly an enigma Sigma as it relates to all other levels. It doesn't follow any of the rules that we knew about the Backrooms, but I guess the Backrooms has no rules. It also adds another level of difficulty because you can't even say its name, and however many times you say it, it appears. So you could really cause havoc on any place you go if you're not, careful of what you're saying and you don't know what you're doing. It also could lead to the entire destruction of the reality and the spatial geometry of the Backrooms. So let me know what you thought about it down in the comments below. I think it's really cool. Thank you so much for watching to the end of the video. If you did enjoy, please leave a like. I would really appreciate it. If you do want more content from me, I have my other channel Spookly, and a TikTok and an Instagram and Twitter, all that stuff. If you want to see more of my life, more of my content, go over there. Once again, I want to thank Scentbird for sponsoring this video. If you want to check them out, click the link in the description below. Use code Brugly2. You can get 55% off your first month's order. You can scan the QR code as well. Seriously, this stuff is great. Also, leave a comment below telling me what other things I should cover here on the Brugly channel. Thank you all so much for your support. With all that said, I will see you in the next video on any of my channels, wherever I see you. Hope you had a great day, and I'll see you next time.